It was Fort Kamloops. It was part of the Hudson Bay Company Fur Brigade, and then a big part of the gold rush, and the overlanders came through here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Exploring Dirt. Today we are in Kamloops and we are in front of the St. Joseph's Church.
The church was built in 1870. It's one of the historical churches on the Gold Rush Trail. So we wanted to come and check it out. I lived here my entire life and I have never been here. I had no idea. Actually, I knew the church was here. I don't know, I was young, didn't care. But I did not know that there's this huge cemetery over on the other side. And most of the graves are from the smallpox epidemic, which is really, really sad. We're going to go check that out in a little bit. But for now, we're going to go over and have a look at the church. So the church was actually restored in 1985, but it was originally built in 1870. So what we see now is actually the restored version. It's a lot larger with an expansion on it, but the spire at the top is original. That's from the original 1870 church. You can see all of the little gables on it and the small crosses. All of those are original. And the belfry as well, original. And the bell that is inside it was cast in New York in 1885. Lit up by the stained glass windows, but it's in behind. When they reconstructed it, you can see they're in behind the original stained glass. I'm sure it's beautiful on the inside, especially today with the sun shining through.
Oh, there we go. I can see it like
there,
that.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Oh, the sun shining through on the other side.
Yeah.
Not something you're going to find unless you actually know it's here, because it is in a completely industrial area now. So this used to be one of the original First Nations town sites. Amazing history. Like I said, I grew up here. I knew that Kamloops has a big history. It's been around for years. It was Fort Kamloops. It was part of the Hudson Bay Company Fur Brigade, and then a big part of the gold rush, and the overlanders came through here. If you don't know who the overlanders are, look it up. It's a pretty cool story. The Overlander Bridge in Kamloops actually named after the overlanders. Schubert Drive named after one of the overlanders. I never knew there was so much history in my hometown. Who knew? But,
Who knew, right?
It's pretty amazing. I'm glad I get to actually explore it now. But we're gonna head over to the cemetery and go and have a walk through there. There's a flame over there in front of one of the graves. So we're gonna go and have a wander through and check it out.
That is a wild statue. That is so cool.
It's like a warrior of some sort. You see his braids? Fallen warrior?
Maybe, yeah.
There's a plaque. The Kamloops Indian Band, but it's really difficult to read.
Sometimes when you go in different angles, you can see a little bit better.
The end of the trail monument dedicated to all the warriors that attended KIRS, K-I-R-S. The end of the trail represents the end of the troubles that we endured at KIRS. The warrior rides into a life of wellness, balance, and now we are blessed with strength and freedom to live in a life of harmony. Day Scholar Commemorative Feast and Ceremony, March 25th, 2014. These ones must be fairly new. They're still all, well, those have fallen down, but this is neat.
That's wild.
Yeah.
In memoriam. To the honor of those brave members of the Kamloops Indian Band who sacrificed themselves so that we may enjoy peace and freedom. Love that. Love that picture. That's really neat.
World War One and Two and Iraq.
Wow.
Home Guard. This is a huge graveyard, and look at like most of the gravestones, they're not actually stone, they're made out of wood.
Like stumps of wood. Yeah, that's crazy.
But some of them are really like smoothed out and hand carved into them. You can tell how some of them are so old. It's very sad. Oh my goodness, there's like brand new ones.
What an amazing culture that they don't have to have these big fancy huge concrete slabs and such. They just use what's from the world, from the earth.
So
More just kind of
rocks.
littered and some rocks, yeah.
Some are actually missing. They don't even have the gravestones. It's so sad. Look how close they are together. You can see
So many.
every little bump is. Oh.
Well, smallpox was a huge problem way back then, right? I mean, there was no cure of any sort. You got it, you were pretty much sealed.
That was it.
This looks to be about the oldest part of the cemetery right here.
Yeah.
In just this one area, I mean, so many graves and no markings. Lots of fallen, like lots of wood, where there used to be markings of them, but. So yeah, wow. This is probably one of the
We've been in
most amazing
cemeteries.
cemeteries we've been in.
Like, we've been in cemeteries before, but I've never seen the metal crosses like we saw, and the tree stumps and the wooden crosses and the wood monument or grave markers. And then, yeah, and just so sad. And you can see the church and behind us, built in 1870, and then the old graveyard. It's pretty sombering when you come in.
Really
you know?
is.
But
really is.
still amazing history, and so happy that these places that are still preserved, and these memories aren't lost. This is amazing. I mean, that church is wow, and still having the original spire and belfry is pretty cool. So
That's wild. I wish we could go inside.
yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining this short little adventure today. We hope you enjoyed it, and please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate your support, and we look forward to sharing our next adventure with you.
Yep, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.